说中文。
ChinesePod, ChinesePod, ChinesePod. That's the way to learn Chinese. ChinesePod, ChinesePod, ChinesePod. That's the way to learn Chinese.
你好, this is ChinesePod. I'm Jenny.
Hey, I'm John, and welcome to another elementary lesson.
Yes, today we're in the mood for soccer.
Yeah, we're talking about the World Cup.
对, might not be very relevant to you, John, being American.
And being someone who doesn't watch too much TV.
Oh, 好, but it's a huge deal. The World Cup is a huge deal to a lot of people around the world.
And you know what also is a huge deal? Diamonds.
是的. But before we go into that, let's first preview the Chinese word for World Cup.
All right, it is...
世界杯. 世界杯.
Okay, so the tones are 4, 4, 1.
对, 第四声和第一声.
世界杯.
Yes.
And literally that's World Cup.
Yes.
Okay, so the question is, what does the World Cup and diamonds have in common? You're going to know after you listen to the dialogue.
对话第一遍.
对了，还要买咖啡？
干嘛？
世界杯11号就要开始了。
你就知道足球。
嘿嘿嘿，我也爱你，老婆。
这次世界杯在哪儿啊？
南非，
南非有很多钻石。
你就知道钻石。
第二遍.
对了，还要买咖啡？
干嘛？
世界杯11号就要开始了。
你就知道足球。
嘿嘿嘿，我也爱你，老婆。
这次世界杯在哪儿啊？
南非，
南非有很多钻石。
你就知道钻石。
第三遍.
对了，还要买咖啡？
干嘛？
世界杯11号就要开始了。
你就知道足球。
嘿嘿嘿，我也爱你，老婆。
这次世界杯在哪儿啊？
南非，
南非有很多钻石。
你就知道钻石。
Well, I think for our well-informed listeners, they had already known what's in common for 世界杯 and diamonds, right?
Yeah, and don't worry if you're still a bit clueless. We're now going to do the line-by-line translation.
对了, 还要买咖啡.
Oh, right. Also, we need to buy some coffee.
对了, 还要买咖啡.
That's right. We also need to buy some coffee.
对了, 还要买咖啡. 干嘛?
What's up?
干嘛?
What for?
干嘛? 世界杯11号就要开始了.
The World Cup's going to start on the 11th.
世界杯11号就要开始了.
The World Cup is about to start on the 11th.
世界杯11号就要开始了。你就知道足球。
You only think about football.
你就知道足球。
You only think about football.
你就知道足球。哈哈，我也爱你，老婆。
Hehe, I love you too, honey.
哈哈，我也爱你，老婆。
I love you too, honey.
哈哈，我也爱你，老婆。哼，这次世界杯在哪儿啊？
Where's the World Cup this year?
这次世界杯在哪儿啊？
Where's the World Cup this year?
这次世界杯在哪儿啊？南非，
South Africa.
南非，
South Africa.
南非。南非有很多钻石。
South Africa? There's a lot of diamonds there.
南非有很多钻石。
South Africa? They have a lot of diamonds.
南非有很多钻石。你就知道钻石。
You only think about diamonds.
你就知道钻石。
You only think about diamonds.
你就知道钻石。
Okay, so obviously the connection between diamonds and the World Cup is
南非。
South Africa.
对。
All right, so let's take this dialogue from the top. And when we start off the dialogue, we're kind of interrupting a conversation, aren't we?
Yes, and we know that we're in the middle of a conversation because of this phrase. 对了， 对了。
Okay, so we know that 对 means right, but 对了 is kind of a special separate expression, right?
Yes, it's used when you've forgotten to do something and then you suddenly remembered.
Yeah, we actually say the same thing in English. We say, "Oh, that's right. I wanted to tell you this."
是的，
Right? So it's also kind of like by the way. Oh yeah, by the way.
对。
So you just say 对了 and then you say it.
是的，对了。那 What did the guy remember? 还要买咖啡，还要买咖啡。
Okay, so this 还 second tone, that means also.
对
All right? 还 can also mean still, but here it means also.
，Yes，
So they were probably talking about the things they need to buy at the store, right?
yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, that's right. We also need to buy some coffee." That's the conversation they're having, what to buy at the store.
对了，还要买咖啡。
Okay, so she's surprised that he thinks they need coffee. And what does she say?
干嘛？干嘛？
Okay, now this 干嘛 means do what?
对 but it's actually used to mean what's up or what's the purpose.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
对，
What for? That kind of thing.
是的。So because the guy says 还要买咖啡, so the wife responds 干嘛 to mean why do you need coffee?
Okay, so it's kind of like why, and it's very informal, right?
对，很 casual.
Okay, so one more time, it is
干嘛？干嘛？
fourth tone, second tone.
对，
Okay, so then he explains, right?
是的。The reason is 世界杯11号就要开始了。世界杯11号就要开始了。
Okay, so the World Cup on the 11th is about to start.
对。Now, here we have a few elements. It's a very useful structure.
Okay, you're talking about 就要 and then a verb and then 了.
了 exactly.
So 开始, of course, meaning to start. So if something is about to start, then you say,
就要开始了。就要开始了。
okay, so anything that's about to start, we can say,
就要开始了。
okay.
But it means it's going to start very soon.
Okay, and if we don't have a date like we do in this dialogue, then it probably means very soon from now.
对对
Okay. Like, for example, if you're in a movie theater and the movie's about to start, you can just say,
电影就要开始了。
okay, so that's pretty clear. Okay, now the wife comes back with a very useful sentence. What is it?
你就知道足球，你就知道足球。
Okay, now these words aren't too hard, but this 就, fourth tone, here it means only, right?
对，你就知道。You only think about.
But literally it's you only know
哎，是的
soccer, right?
，Yes. But 知道 here essentially means think about.
It's like the only thing that's in your brain.
对 you're so preoccupied by it.
Okay, so you say 你就知道, and then you put something at the end of it, and that's a pattern you can use, right?
Yes. And it's actually a small complaint, this tone.
Okay, just like you only think about football.
对 You're not very happy that all they think about is football.
Okay, that makes sense.
是的，那let's look at the word for football. 足球，足球。
All right, there's 2 second tones, and the characters actually mean foot and ball, right?
是的，那足 is an ancient word which means foot.
Right, it's not a word we would use in modern China to refer to one's foot,
对
but it appears in some words meaning foot.
For example, as in 足球 football.
All right, so then the guy laughs, right? It's interesting, in Chinese you have characters for different kinds of laughs.
啊，对，这个 laugh it has been very popular on the internet. These
Yeah,
two
it's
characters.
kind of like a chuckle, right?
I
Yeah.
can't even do it.
In English, we usually would spell this H-E-H, H-E-H, but in recent years, people have abbreviated even more to H-E-H-E, which is not he-he, it's he-he.
嘿嘿嘿嘿，
Okay, and then if you were to write ha-ha, it'd be 2 different characters, right?
对对
So especially online, this he-he is very useful in typed Chinese.
是的。
Okay, so anyway, he loves his wife too, and then she responds with another interesting sound, right?
他说哼
All right, again, quite often used online in chats, right?
Yes. But in real life, if someone were to use that sound, it's probably a woman.
Oh, okay, this is a bit girly, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, but then she asks about the World Cup. She suddenly shows interest. What does she say?
哦，她说这次世界杯在哪儿啊？这次世界杯在哪儿啊？
So this time World Cup.
Now let's look at the word meaning this time. 这次，这次，
Okay, so literally this time.
对，
Two fourth tones.
是的。
Now in English, we would say this year. It's not every year that we have the World Cup, but I think we'd still say this
This year. Yes, but in Chinese, because it doesn't happen each year.
It makes more sense to say this time.
Exactly.
Yeah, we could say that in English too. Okay, and then where is it again?
南非，南非，
South Africa.
对，
All right, so that's second tone and first tone.
是的。
Now, if you know the word for Africa, that is
非洲，非洲
okay, but we don't say 南非洲, right?
啊，不是，因为非洲洲 means continent.
Yeah, so literally in Chinese, 非洲 is like saying African continent.
Yes.
So you don't need the 洲 when you're talking about the country South Africa.
对对，
So it is again,
南非，南非。
all right, second tone, first tone.
Now, what is South Africa famous for? One of the things is, of course, 钻石，钻石。
Okay, diamonds. So that's Z-U-A-N, fourth tone,
对，
and then 石, second tone.
是的，
钻石.
钻石，
All right, diamonds.
对，maybe blood diamonds。
Hopefully not blood diamonds.
对对对。
All right, so let's listen to the dialogue 3 more times.
Welcome back to another installment of ChinesePod Trivia. And the question for you is, for what test does ChinesePod offer preparation services for? Is it A, the polygraph, B, the colonoscopy, C, the HSK test, or D, the CAT scan?
The CAT scan?
Ooh, sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, the HSK test. That's right, ChinesePod will thoroughly prepare you to pass this rigorous test of proficiency in Chinese. ChinesePod.com/HSK.
对话第一遍，
对了，还要买咖啡？
干嘛？
世界杯11号就要开始了。
你就知道足球？
嘿嘿嘿，我也爱你，老婆。
这次世界杯在哪儿啊？
南非，
南非有很多钻石。
你就知道钻石。
第二遍，
对了，还要买咖啡？
干嘛？
世界杯11号就要开始了。
你就知道足球？
嘿嘿嘿，我也爱你，老婆。
这次世界杯在哪儿啊？
南非，
南非有很多钻石。
你就知道钻石。
第三遍，
对了，还要买咖啡？
干嘛？
世界杯11号就要开始了。
你就知道足球？
嘿嘿嘿，我也爱你，老婆。
这次世界杯在哪儿啊？
南非，
南非有很多钻石。
你就知道钻石。
Okay, Jenny, I have to address a question that our listeners might have here.
什么问题？
If you've been paying attention to the dialogue, you notice that in the beginning, the guy says that they need coffee. And then when she asks, 干嘛, why, he says because of the World Cup. Now, what is the connection between coffee and the World Cup?
So it's not clear to you, John? The link?
I'm representing the users, Jenny. I think I figured it out, but I had to think about it.
对对对
It's not
now
obvious.
time zone is the reason, basically.
Ah.
Because there's a few hours of time difference between China and Nanfei.
Okay.
So probably a lot of the matches, I have to check, but they might be in early morning or very, very late night. So you need some mental stimulant to help you stay awake.
So this is to stay up, not to get yourself awake in the morning after watching soccer all night.
对对对 to stay up.
Okay.
Now, it's also interesting, John, when we were talking about this issue, and I said Chinese audience is so used to having to staying up all night to watch major sport events. Whereas in America, you guys probably just watch American sports, 对吗? So there's no time issue.
True. We watch American football rather than soccer.
对啊, and even if you did watch international events, 像 the Olympics, I think because America is such an important advertising market, so there's also always some arrangement to have major events at nighttime in the US.
Yeah, you're right. But the Chinese market is massive, so maybe you guys can do something with all those advertising dollars.
But you know what? I think staying up all night to watch a game is such an experience. It's like going out partying and stay awake until 3 in the morning.
It's like sleeping over at a friend's house.
对啊，很有趣的，很 interesting， 很好玩。
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. I don't stay up for sports.
For all the soccer fans, 足球迷, yay! It's our festival.
All right, so we hope you enjoyed this lesson. And if you have any questions, you know where to come, ChinesePod.com.
是的. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
再见.
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
1432.
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/1432 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/1432.